Good morning. Let me see. Okay, good morning. It's Friday, February 18th, 2022. My name is Terry Morgan. We're here to practice Wudang Qigong. We're going to practice the advanced sets this morning, sets 10 through 18. And I will tell you that I don't believe that we're going to get through all 18 sets this morning, because what I have planned is to do a little bit more repetition of the sets that we have. So instead of repeating 6 times, we're going to repeat 6 times. And then we're going to stop and we're going to pay attention to something a little bit different. Okay? And then we're going to practice that with the same set that we just practiced. What my goal, and we're going to do that 3 times. So 3 of each. Again, it's not going to be all of the sets 10 through 18. We'll probably do 10 through 15, 14 maybe. We'll see. As we practice, the idea that we have behind our practice, that intent, what are we paying attention to? How do we develop that skill? Talked about this a little bit yesterday, and we're going to work on it today. This idea that we create these channels, some of them already exist, right? That we create these channels, some of it for how we think about what we're doing. So yesterday my emphasis for the beginning sets was on quiet. Quieting the body, quieting the mind, quieting the breath. That is in large part a prerequisite for doing more. As we develop that skill, we're able to move as if we're breathing. You're just breathing, just walking down a path. That skill gives us the ability to develop more skills. Alright? We're going to pay attention to that a little bit today. Let's get started. Alright. Basic stretch. Feet about shoulder width apart. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Drop the shoulders, pull up through the crown of the head. Relax the breath. Hand circle the front. Back around to both sides. Up along the center line. Stretch out. Reach up. As you reach up, keep the shoulders down and try to pull up all the way through the hip. Shoulders stay down, stretch up through the waist, reach out. Elbows drop down, wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. In shaking the tail feathers, as we get started, right? The turning through the waist as we move matters. It does. So with this set, the first thing that we're going to pay attention to is turning the waist. As we move, pay attention outwardly. Okay? It's physical movement. Pay attention to physical movement. Outwardly pay attention to pulling up from underneath the rib, pulling in through the abs, dropping the hip so the center and the back, the Ming Men, is open, and turning with as little effort as possible. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Breathe in. And breathe out. Turn to the left. And circle to the right. Sink. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the right. Circle to the left. Pull up through the waist. Pull in. Check your waist through each move. How do the muscles engage? What do you need to physically do through this movement? Again, pay attention to the waist, small muscles along the sides, the center muscle through the abdomen. Keep the back open. 2 more. Turn left and turn right. Breathe in. Breathe out. And one more time. Come back to center, hands down along both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Breathe in, breathe out. Alright, as we practice Qigong, we should pay attention to the inner circulation as well as how we're connected through the lower dantian and how does that extend through the body. So feet are connected through the surface that you're on. Toes grip a little bit, bubbling well, the Yung Chuan pulls up, the root, base of the heel sinks down. As we do that, not real visible, right? As we do that, we want that sense of both being connected and extending that energy up through the body so that we can do something with it. All right. This time, we're going to do the same set. Pay attention to the lower part of your body. They're not, your feet aren't moving. We're not shifting. We're going to shift weight after a minute. Pay attention to what the lower part of your body is doing. There should be some effort by your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips. As we turn, right? The hips are moving, the legs move. Pay attention to that effort. You have to pay attention to the hands too, right? You have to pay attention to this, but pay special attention to what's going on here. Lower part of the body. And pay attention to the Yung Chuan. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Relax the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Same. Breathe in. Turn to the left. Lower part of the body, what's it doing? Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the right. Again. Everything from the hips down is working. Everything from the waist down is working. Legs are working. Alright, as we breathe, there's up and down. As we turn, a little bit of a twist and some resistance to maintain placement in the center. What's the lower back doing? Open and close. And we're going to repeat to this side. Oops. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the right. And to the left. As the knees bend and straighten, the hip supported by the lower back opens the Ming Men. Two more. Relax. Turn. Lower body. Pay attention to the hip. Pay attention to the back of the leg. Last time. Turn. Same. In the center. Hands down along both sides. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. This connection. Third time. Pay attention this time to everything. Alright, now pay attention this time to using the waist to connect the upper body and the lower body. Right? Everything from the waist up, everything from the waist down, this connects everything, right? Pay attention to that connection. We first started, we paid attention to the small muscles in the waist and the turning through the waist. And we paid attention to what we're doing in the lower body. Now we want to pay attention to this connection between the upper body and the lower. I could separate this into 5 sets and we're not doing that. Connection between the upper body and the lower body. Pay attention also to the breath, so that as we breathe, the breath drives the movement. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Relax through the upper back. Open the Ming Men. Drop the hip. And breathe in. Breathe out. Sink. Breathe in. Turn to the left. Breathe out. Turn to the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Turn to the right. Breathe out. Turn to the left. Sink. Keep the back open. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slow the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Quiet the movement. Open the breath. Each time you breathe, fill the lungs. Each time you breathe out, empty the lungs. Use the movement coordinated with the breath to help your body do that. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 2 more. Relax the breath and turn. Use the breath. Coordinate the movement. Turn the waist. Last time. Turn left and right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Hands down along both sides. Pull up to the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. Alright. White Ape presents a fruit. Get a sip of coffee. As we start the first set, White Ape presents a fruit. And return to center. Shift the weight, and there's two parts to this, okay? So shift the weight over to my other leg, right? Turn the toes. Extend. As we move through, sink, push down to come up, as if you have something that's a little bit heavy and you can push down on it a little bit in order to figure out how much effort you need to make to lift it up. Get a good hold of it, right? Push down to lift up. That connection, we're going to work on that. Physical sink, push down to come up. That physical effort is what we want to pay attention to right now. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Breathe in, palms up. Breathe out. Press down. Shift to the right. Sink. Both hands come up. Extend. Return. And back to center. Shift. Push down. Sink. Use that effort. As you extend. Sink. And return. This idea that you're lifting something that has weight. And as you lift, as you extend your hands, arms from the lower back, you pay attention to that weight. Two more. Shift. And extend, return, and the center. Last time. center, sink, from underneath, lift, and back to center, palms up, press down on both sides, raise the heels and lower, stay there, breathe in, breathe out. As we extend, we reach out. We want to pay attention to not only the idea that there's substance there, that this isn't just, yeah, I'm going to stick my hands out here and do something. Hey, here's my hands, and they go, okay, there's no substance here, right? And return. There's resistance as we come back. There's strength, effort, energy as we extend. This effort, we want to pay attention to it more in the context of what we're doing with the internal energy, not with the physical movement in this series. So I'm going to repeat the same thing. All right. In Why Day Presents a Fruit, we have 3 connections that we really want to pay attention to. 4, we count the lower Titian, which is part of everything, right? So both feet, as I turn, my back foot needs to take my weight and be able to initiate this extension of my energy, right? So, sink the heel, grip the toes, pull up through the Yongchuan, pull up through the back, through the lower Titian, middle Titian, through the Rinzhong, and extend. Both Lao Gong connect. This is the other connection. So, one here, one here. Third one is the other foot. Alright? As we go forward, don't do this. The knees shouldn't go past the toes. We want the knee just behind the toes, not quite up to the toes. So if I was going to work lower, I need to move my foot a little bit. Right? The heel and the toes on that foot need to match the other one, right? So, grip, sink the heel, pull up through the Yongchuan. Pay attention to the connection between both Lao Gong and the palms and the connection through the whole body. This is the large heavenly circle. Pay attention to the large heavenly circle connection through the whole body as we extend. Feet about shoulder width apart. I know it's a lot. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. And breathe in. And breathe out. Shift. Turn the toes. Extend. And return. Pay attention to the Yongchuan and the toes, behind the toes, excuse me. Sink into the root as you extend. Connect through the whole body. focus on those 3 points. Lago, connected to the palms. And the Yongchuan in both feet. Two more. Keep that connection. Pay attention to the effort and the energy to extend through the body. Last time. Center. Palms up. Press down on both sides. Pull up through the crown head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Alright. Relax. We have one more round that we're going to use to focus both the mind and the inner breath as we work through, again, same series, White A Presents a Fruit. In paying attention to these 3 centers, right, both Lago connected with each other, the Yongchuan in the base of both feet, we've also, ideally, connected through the lower dantian. What we want to try and do this time through, as we bring up that energy, is to use it to create that extension so that actively having a picture in your mind of that circle, and again, using the mind, focusing on the waist and the lower dantian to turn as the hands come through, right? I'm going to exaggerate this. So, yeah. Turn, come up, and go out. All right. So we want this turn right here. This turn. Inside, paying attention to the lower dantian. About here. Inside. This connection through the body, using this idea, the circle, and using the idea that as the circle moves around, turn a circle, as we do that, there are things that we do that go with that turning. Pay attention to the circle. Pay attention to this inner circle. Pay attention to the connection between these 3 points. So, circles, we're doing a lot of movement here, all right? Circle is small heavenly circle. The large heavenly circle, big one, on the outside. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the tiny heavenly circle in the lower dantian. Connect the breath. Use the breath to drive the movement, both the physical breath and the inner breath, the chi. Breathe in. Breathe out. Connect through the whole body. Pay attention to the lower dantian. Pay attention to the large heavenly circle. Focus the mind on the tiny heavenly circle in the lower dantian. And it turns. As you move, that's all it does. Little circle. Very quiet. Connect the breath, inside and outside, with that circle. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Focus on the connections. Use them through the movement. Smile. 2 more. Last time. And return. Center. Palms up. Press down on both sides. Pull up through the crown head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. And breathe out. Alright. Relax for a second. We're going to work. Excuse me. We're going to work on dragon and tiger joined together. Okay? Same. Alright. So, rest a second. Let your legs know that we're going to do something. Alright? And with this, the idea is that we're first going to pay attention to not the lower body, but the upper body. What we're doing to manage our weight over the leg while we're moving. Alright, so shift, extend, pull in and down, right? As we shift the weight here, first round, we want to pay attention to what's happening with everything above the waist. Okay? Need to include the hip a little bit, because if the hip's doing something that it shouldn't be doing, if you're sticking your hip out and you got your shoulder up over here, it's still going to be a problem. You got to keep the hip in. Okay? All right. Hip over the heel. Hip's not over the heel here. Right? Pull it in. As we pay attention to supporting the body, pull in through the waist, pull up from underneath the ribs. Yeah. I was having a little trouble with my throat earlier, and I had some orange juice to try and clear it, and it seems like it worked a little bit. It's, yeah. Anyway, all right, so pull up through the waist. That's going to pull up through the hip. You want that space between the leg and the hip. You do. All right. Pay attention to pulling up. Pull up through the lower back. Pull this up. Pull this up. Relax. And feet about shoulder width apart. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn the toes on the left just a little bit and shift left. Circle. Extend. Return. And place the foot. Shift right. Extend. Return. Place the foot. Pay attention to the lower back. Pull up through the neck spine. Yeah, all the way up at the top. Yeah, pull up through there. Pull up to suspend the body over the leg. Keep the weight transfer smooth. Transfer through the leg. Two more. Last time. Center. Palms up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Press down along both sides. Pull up to the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right. Next, that idea of connecting the Laogon and the Yongchuan, the bubbling well. We're going to use that, paying attention also to keeping the back and the body straight as we extend, right? So both arms turn over and extend. As we do this, breathe out. Pay attention to the center of the palm to push out. This push comes from the lower dantian. Push. I'm going to exaggerate this. This is exaggerated. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. In order to see it, I gotta do something. All right, so remember we're on one leg over here, right? As both hands come up, this idea of pulling up through the back, also pay attention to the centers in both palms of the lao bone. Connect to the lower Tantian, to the middle Tantian, and turn over as we extend. Connect to the Yongchuan in the ball of the foot. Okay? Feet about shoulder width apart. Hang on one second. This is unusual. All right, I apologize for that. I am not accustomed to getting any kind of message at this time of day, and it's something I can look at later, but it was unusual, so I wanted to check, make sure it wasn't something I needed to pay attention to. All right? As we shift, connect, grip the surface with the toes, pull up through the Yongchuan, sink the heel, extend, right here, follow the foot, Yongchuan, with both palms, so that as you're pressing out, as you're breathing out, pressing out, extend the energy outward. As we bring it back, pull it in. All right? Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Relax the breath. Relax the body. And breathe in. And breathe out. Turn your toes a little bit on the left and shift. Pay attention to the connections. Shift to the right. Sink. Keep the back open. Pull up. Pay attention to the ball of the foot as you extend. Center. Through the back. Find your body center, your weight center. It's in the general vicinity of the lower Tantian. Keep going. Sink, pull in, extend, pull in, sink, ready, extend, pull in. 2 more. Last time. Palms up. Press down on both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Same set. As we pay attention to this connection, pay attention to the idea that the movement itself follows that connection. So the idea that as I bring all of this up, supporting the body, right? Supporting the body over the legs, as I bring my weight, physical weight, and my body energy up to extend and keep this connection, that I have a little bit more energy to put into it. That as I bring that up and extend through, there's more substance behind the move than there's more substance behind the move. I just put it that way. All right, this idea of extending the energy, extending the qi, the inner energy, jing, the internal energy, using this outward circle directed by the mind. Right? Let the physical part of the movement happen. So get out of the way of the physical part of the movement. We just did it a few times, so should be right. The body should be right there, ready to do this. Get out of the way of that. Use how you direct your mind, how you follow the circle, and the pattern that we use, this pattern, have that pattern in your mind as we go through this set. Okay? Just know what you're going to do and allow it to happen. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in, shift. See the image of what you're doing in your mind. Your body knows what it's supposed to do. We just practice that. Allow it to happen. Quiet the breath. The breath should be full and complete. Focus the mind. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 2 more. Open the back. Extend through the body. Last time. Center. Palms up. Hands down along both sides, bump the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, relax. This type of practice, this repetition, pay attention to this thing. Now we're going to do it again. And now we're going to do it again. And pay attention to something else. Gives us that, I was talking about before, that reinforcement, that channel. Okay, I'm comfortable. Because normally we practice 9 sets. We practiced 9 sets today. We did. But it was 3 of 3, not all different. This kind of practice, what we did today, gives us the opportunity to relax a little bit more. As humans, right? We relax a little bit more. By the 3rd time through, it's like, okay, I know what this movement is, right? I just did it 12 times. I got it now. That is part of what we want. So as we add one more layer, as we add several more layers, it's easier to understand what we should be paying attention to, what we might be paying attention to, and what we need to be paying attention to. All right? There will be more classes like this. Okay, this is my speeches before about doing some things where there's a little bit more analysis. This is it. The development of each of these skills has at its core the ability to understand your own body, to quiet the mind so that you're not being distracted by odd things. I got distracted by the phone. Nobody calls, nobody sends me a message at this time in the morning. What's going on? Right? Not being distracted and being able to use that quiet to do more. If your mind's not quiet, how can you do one thing, one simple thing? Focus on the circle and the lower dantian. That's all you're supposed to be doing. Focus on the circle and the lower dantian. Let the movement happen. If the mind is busy, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I shifting my weight right? What am I doing here? Where's my hip? Okay, I got to bring my hip back. Okay. If you're doing that, if you're going through that litany, which we have to go through, if that's what you're doing, your mind is not quiet. And you're not comfortable with the movement. You don't know it. It's not something that is part of the kinds of movements that you do normally, that you react. This is something I do. Okay? I talk with my hands, right? I hold my hands here so I don't talk with them too much. I do that. Knowing that gives me another skill. How do I quiet my hands? What do I need to do? How do I quiet my mind? What do I need to do? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to hold on to? So that my focus can remain clear and paying attention to what I should be paying attention to, not some other distraction. Okay? That's it for this morning. I will be back next week with Xingyi, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 5 elements linking form. We have practice sets that we're going to work on with both the linking form and each of the individual elements. A little bit of analysis like I'm doing today, so that there's a better understanding of what we should be paying attention to in each of the punches as we are practicing. Thursday and Friday next week, Qigong. Thursday, basic sets. Friday, the advanced sets. And again, I will be doing more like this. We'll see what happens. We'll see next week. I think this is, I think I need to continue this with some additional sets. So let me see about that. I appreciate you being here. I sincerely do. Thank you.